He says, I'm 42 and my wife is 32. We're currently saving 25% or $51,000 a year. Should I use any remaining money to pay off the house or to invest? I got started late. Our current investments total $253,000. So with that extra money, paying off the house or investing it? I feel like this is another common mutant question that we get.
So saving 25%, and that 25% comes out to $51,000 a year.
Yep.
And so should I, well, William, you said it. So it's interesting. I think the reason why William's asking the question is because there's some age discrepancy between he and his spouse, right? He is in, I'm going to call it early 40s, but nearing the mid 40s, but she is in the early 30s. And so they're trying to figure out, where are our dollars best utilized? Because that's ultimately, whenever you make the decision around deploying capital to go grow for you or deploying capital to satisfy debt, it's an opportunity cost decision. Where can my dollars be best utilized? Well, when I hear you say, hey, we are kind of behind, I got a late start, I've not been putting my money to work as early as I should be, the immediate first question I would have is, okay, well, what's the interest rate on that mortgage? Because I think that's an interesting piece of information to have. Now, no matter what the answer to that question is, I don't think that my advice or my counsel would change, but I'd want to know that piece. And certainly, William, if you were someone who was in one of these mortgages that's at like 2.5%, 3.5%, 4.5%, in my opinion, that's a really hard argument to suggest going to pay off the debt. But what if there's someone who got into a house more recently and they're at 6%, 7%? Does that change the advice, Brian, or what would you tell?
Well, I think it's like, it's a financial triage moment. You have to immediately ask yourself, where am I? Because you have a gut feeling that you're behind. So I would encourage you to, and this is why we came up with this tool, is because we realize there's a lot of you out there that are trying to figure out, are you ahead of the curve, behind the curve, or right where you need to be? So go to learn.moneyguy.com and check out our Know Your Number course.
It's a great call.
Because you got to know where you are in this process, because I would love if you're already at the goal of saving and investing 25% and you're right where you need to be or even ahead of the curve, you're probably 3 years too soon. I'm just going to, challenge you. Is this the right time to pay off the mortgage? But I'm not going to hold it against you if you're ahead of the curve. Mm-hmm. However, if your gut is right and you use the tool and you find out, I'm up to 25%. But even if you go to moneyguy.com/resources, and what's the new? I screw this up.
How much should you save?
How much should you save? Or I was going to say, what 25% could you? How much could you save? If you go check out that resource, it's going to show you that, yes, for anybody who started saving and investing in their 20s, it's probably under 20%. But you'll quickly find out if you started later, beyond age 35, if you really want to be ahead of schedule, you've got to go beyond 25%. So the start date that you started saving and investing does have an impact on that. But you've got to really turn the personal into personal finance by doing the homework, figuring out exactly where you are in this process, and then being deliberate. And don't forget, I'm still a big fan of paying off the mortgage post 45. And so I think that you're under that and you feel like you're behind. There's some things there. If you just do a little additional digging, do some homework, I think all this will start to be uncovered. The plot will thicken and you'll understand exactly what you need to do as your next steps.
I think one of the exciting things, they have a big shovel. They said that they're saving $51,000 a year, which is 25%. I'm not good at public math, so I did it on my calculator. That's like a $200,000 household income, right? With a shovel that big, even if you are behind and maybe you haven't made the perfect decisions, at 42 years old, if you're planning for a normal retirement age 65, you still have plenty of time to get your dollars working for you. You may have to work a little bit harder, get that savings rate up a little bit higher. But with a shovel like that, it is certainly doable in most parts of the country to be able to really sock away wealth and build for the future. So kudos to you guys for being what sounds like in a great spot moving forward.